My name is Christine, and I am the inventor of what I call the cake wheel. I've been decorating cakes for about 18 years, and in the last few years I've grown fond of rolled fondant. However, I have found it very difficult to put fondant on a cake, and so I came up with what I believe is the next revolutionary idea in the cake decorating world, and I call it the cake wheel. And what it is 4 interchangeable cake wheels on one common base, and all the wheels fit on here. And what the purpose of this would be is when you're rolling out your fondant, I find that it's easier to be able to get up underneath the fondant to smooth it on the cake, instead of having the large wheels that your fondant would actually curl up on. So what I'm going to demonstrate is how to roll out the fondant and put it on your cake smoothly. And you want to get your fondant rolled out as thin as you can in order for it to not be so thick on your cake, and with having the buttercream up underneath it and the fondant very thin, it will marry very well together and give your guests and your clients a very good taste. So as you're rolling this out, you want to start pushing from the center of the fondant so that you make sure that your edges aren't thinner than the middle part of it, and this gives you a more consistent roll on your fondant when you're pulling it out. And once you get it to the size that you know is going to fit your cake, you have 2 options. If it's small enough, you can just pick it up and lay it on top of it. Otherwise, I use these blue mats that you can actually just pick up and lay it over your fondant if you've got a large piece. If you've got a small piece, you can just pick it up and lay it on top of your cake. And once you have it on your cake, you want to start at the top and get it smooth, and then start smoothing it from the top. And then once you got it to where you know it's going to be at the right size, you can go ahead and cut off any excess weight that's on the bottom of it, so you can make sure that you can get it smooth. Then you're just going to gradually work it around the cake and smoothing it, and you're able to get your hands up underneath it to get it smooth on your cake. And while you're smoothing it, you're actually stretching it just a little bit so that it gives you enough room to get the fondant on there smoothly. It's just a matter of working it and working it down till it gets smooth. And it helps, the thinner you roll your fondant, the better it is at getting it smoothed on the cake. And if you find that you have too much weight on the end of it, you can always cut more off. And once you're finished applying the fondant to the cake, use a small knife, whatever you feel comfortable using, to trim off the excess around the base of the cake. And there you have it. This is another product that I've also came up with, is called the Lazy Susan of the cake wheel. And one of the reasons I came up with this is because I got tired of doing sheet cakes, and they get so heavy, and you're trying to turn that sheet cake on your table, and you slip and your finger goes into the icing. I mean, it happens all the time. So this is the Lazy Susan. It's a shorter base, but you've got your wheel that is an 18 by 22, which you would be able to fit a full sheet cake on. And it keeps it level, it doesn't rock, and it's not going to move, and you're able to smoothly move it around without having to try and move the heavy weight of a large sheet cake. and you can smooth it and make all your decorations, and when you're doing your borders and everything, you can get it all done that way. There's also a 16-inch wheel that I find very useful, especially if you've got a large tiered wedding cake that you have a lot of detailed work to do on it. You can set your cake on this and it will hold the weight of it. You can move it around if you're trying to put any kind of silk ribbon or borders or anything on your wedding cake. You can turn it around on this wheel without having it actually sitting on a table that you're having to try and move it yourself, and again run the risk of sticking your finger in the cake. These wheels are also interchangeable with the main cake wheel. These also can be used on top of this. If you're wanting more height, you can still use it on the main cake wheel. I just sometimes when you've got a heavy weight on it, it's easier to work on it at a lower base, but they all interchangeable on this main base. And you can use it and it stays level. It's not going to move and it's not going to rock, and so you've got a very sturdy piece of equipment that is all interchangeable, and you can use it with several different things that you're wanting to do. The cake wheel is offered in two different sets. This is the main set. You get this main base and the 4 interchangeable wheels, and then the Lazy Susan is 2 interchangeable wheels on the main base. But again, to reiterate, these 2 wheels also can be interchangeable on this main base here. Once you get this product and you start using it, you're going to wonder why you hadn't had it a long time ago. It is going to make your life a lot easier. You're going to find that decorating cakes goes a lot quicker. Doing your wedding cakes, your everyday occasion cakes, having the wheels interchangeable for the different size cakes was because we all don't do the same size cakes all the time. It's different sizes every day. You will end up being able to do, you know, marbled cake with all the smooth edges on it. Any kind of cake that you're thinking that you want to use this, you can use it for buttercream and rolled fondant. It's not just for rolled fondant. It's for the everyday baker that loves to really get into decorating cakes and do the detailed work and make sure that your product is the best that you can produce. With using the cake wheel, it enables you to get the smooth look of the fondant that's on this cake, and using the marbled, it gives you a beautiful effect that brides just love to see, that they can incorporate all the different colors and aspects of their wedding colors into their cake. All the products can either be sold as a group, meaning the main cake wheel and the Lazy Susan, or they can also be sold individually. You would buy the base and then pick each individual wheel that you would be interested in purchasing. To get further information, please visit my website at thecakewheel.com.